Very much indeed. As Lou says, actually, in my day job, I am Chief Exec for Trafford Council, but lead Chief Exec for Greater Manchester for Digital. And some of you on the call, lots of you on the call, I think will be aware that in GM, every council Chief Exec and every leader as well takes a wider GM portfolio. And I'm really proud, actually, to be in this particular role. In a city region that is very determined to do digital differently. So I've actually got two tasks today to draw this session to a close. And the first of those is as understudy to Andy Burnham, actually to our Greater Manchester Mayor, who was due to be here, but unfortunately, because of the things that are going on around us, has had to send his apologies. So apologies to those of you who were hoping to see Andy, and I do hope I can do this first task real justice, because actually it's to talk about one of Andy's great passions in Greater Manchester, which we've talked about a lot today actually, which is digital inclusion. So I'm sure I don't need to tell you, our audience today, that digital and tech is changing enormously. A few short years ago, not that long ago actually, it was very much seen as territory for really specialist techies and enthusiasts and so on. But I look now and I look at our digital economy, which has accelerated enormously actually over the last few years. And also, as we sit here, and I'm in my dining room as I speak, what we are seeing is lots more people making that leap, a significant leap towards digital. As a result of, as we said a little bit earlier, the pandemic. But as we know, and as we've heard, not everybody is benefiting from that change. And as you've heard today, that's why Greater Manchester is intending to do digital differently. We are aspiring to be a world-class leading digital city region, not because we want the badge or we think it's, you know, it's the right thing to put on our letterhead, but actually because we do not want to leave anyone in Greater Manchester behind, whatever their background, their age or their circumstances. And it is really clear to us actually that all of our businesses need to be digital or more digital in some way, shape or form to move forward, and that actually we need to have people from all walks of life and perspectives able to engage in our digital world for all sorts of reasons. And the things you've heard about today, learning, getting access to services, information and advice, ordering your online shop, making sure you can get a bin from the council, paying your council tax, accessing and obviously progressing in work as well. Put simply, we want our people in Greater Manchester to get on in life, and we want our economy to thrive. And we firmly believe that digital is absolutely central to that aspiration. And digital exclusion, as we've talked about, is one aspect of broader inequalities in our society. And oh my word, in the last 6 months, that's really come to the fore, I think, in people's mindsets as well. And it is one of the things that the Independent Inequalities Commission, which was launched just last week actually by Andy, which has already been described as a task force, it is one of the things that they are going to focus on as part of their remit. And if you turn the idea of exclusion on its head, we all need, I think, to have a real focus on digital inclusion. Everyone who's got a role to play in this brilliant place, this city region that we call home, we think has a role to play in helping our citizens to be more digital as well. And I know that we've talked about the kind of stats around digital exclusion. We have access to reports just been published actually by the Good Things Foundation, which is based on Ofcom data, which is suggesting to us actually there is a more significant challenge than we'd realised. So based on that data, 1 in 4 of our residents in Greater Manchester are only accessing the internet in a very limited a narrow way, and incredibly, on top of that, 1 in 6 of our population described as not non-users of digital. So there could be as many as 1.2 million people in our conurbation who are not engaging in, who are excluded, for want of a better description, from the opportunities that come from the enormous opportunities actually come from digital to improve people's lives. And I know it's not clearly just a GM issue, it is an issue that is going to be key to enabling us and the country to recover effectively from this horrendous pandemic. We do firmly believe that, but also to enable us to genuinely level up. We talked a little bit about that in the chat. That's about levelling up across the country, but it's also about how we level up in GM as well. And I understand actually this afternoon the Chief Exec of the Good Things Foundation, Helen Milner, is going to be talking about the drive that they have made and the push that they've made to government to invest properly in how you bridge that digital divide, which is a case, of course, you would expect that we've made for GM as well. And we can't just assume that this is an issue for older people like me. We know from research that we've done, from conversations that we've had with young people, they have identified really clearly the need for us not to underestimate the importance of digital exclusion for under 30s. And you heard from Sara, a very valued member of our youth advisory group earlier, and they're integral to actually driving the work around our youth guarantee for Greater Manchester, which is very much about supporting young people with those enormous concerns, even more considerable now that they've got about their future. And of course digital is part of that too. And then as we've heard as well, together with Lou and Mo, the Mayor helped to launch Ada Manchester. No more timely opportunity, I think, and time for that focus around digital skills to really drive social mobility and to create our new generation of diverse tech pioneers as well. But whilst the timing is right and there are things that we've done, we're not starting from a blank sheet of paper. Those stats you've just heard tell us that actually there is much, much more that we need to do. Oh, the joys of working from home. There's postman's at the door with a package. The timing couldn't be better. There is somewhere to leave it, don't worry, my package isn't heading back. There is much more that we need to do, but we are absolutely determined in Greater Manchester to tackle that digital divide. And so on behalf of Andy, I am really, really pleased to announce our intention in GM to be 100% digitally enabled city region, helping everyone to access the internet and to do so with confidence and safely as well. Because, as Ryan said earlier, we believe access to the digital world is a basic human right, and that connectivity should well be treated as the fourth utility as well. And so we really want to work with government, academia, with industry, with communities, the voluntary sector, other public services to really level our digital playing field. To support that ambition, we're creating a Greater Manchester agenda for change so that we can bring really sharp focus on this very important issue. We'll do it through collaboration and joint working. As many of you will know, something we think we've got a bit of a track record on in Greater Manchester, digitally, innovation, networks, collaboration, partnerships with all of the groups that I have just described that have got us to where we've got to today. And we have already got some great work underway, and we have made, as we've alluded to today, a very specific and significant proposal to government as part of our spending review proposition to be an exemplar for being a digital city region focused on inclusion. So I think that a big challenge, an enormous challenge, before you factor in the challenges that come with how we recover from this pandemic. But I am really confident, actually, with the Greater Manchester spirit that's oozed out today, that we can work together across our sectors and across our boroughs to be able to build back economic resilience and to make sure that no one gets left behind. And we are calling on everyone on this call today, industry, those of you with a stake in digital, and asking that you work with us, that if you've got a big idea or a teeny tiny idea, or actually if you've just got some thoughts about having a chat about how you'd like to help, then we would absolutely welcome you with open arms. Actually, we do it socially distanced, of course, to have those conversations. And I think in the chat we have put some contact details to Greater Manchester Combined Authority, the GMCA's website. And that takes me on to my second task today, which is much briefer, and that is just to sum up what I hope has been an informative, an insightful and an enjoyable event today. You've heard lots about digital inclusion and digital skills and how we are convinced that they are integral to creating the right conditions for a thriving digital economy, not just in GM, but anywhere. And partnership has been so incredibly important to us. It's got us where we've got to today. And those of you already on that journey, an enormous thank you. But if you've been inspired, you're not on the journey, you want to do more, please do feel free to contact us. We are, as ever, as you would expect from a digital point of view, we've taken lots of insight from the session today. We'll use that that insight, and we will very much want to do that analysis and help us inform what we do next. We're actually going to put the questions you did on Slido out on our social media feed to get that broader view. And please do follow us on Twitter, GMCA Digital, because we're going to put some more information and contacts on there. If we can get connected and stay connected, then oh my word, we can move mountains. I am going to hand back to Lou now, who is going to draw the session to a close and is going to say some thank yous to people who've been involved. But I am going to say one thank you that she isn't going to do, which is a really big thank you to Lou for being, as ever, a brilliant host for this session.